In a forest covered in boulders and a rainstorm brewing, I found the perfect place to make a raised platform shelter. Armed with a pile of bushcrafting tools, I started this build. Once I found the right grouping of trees to hold the structure up, I got to work cutting the support poles. I took my time and made sure my frame was very level so that I would be as comfortable as possible. So I did a temporary lashing to the tree with some bank line just to make sure it was right. I then used 1/2-inch hemp rope for the anchor points and started the lashing with a snuggle hitch, a couple of wraps around the pole and the tree, and then 2 really tight fraps just to lock it all in. I finished it with a square knot and it's not going anywhere. I got the platform poles in place, they are lashed in, and now it's time to make the ladder and then the actual platform itself. I'm gonna put a bunch of sticks up here and continuous lash them right down to this platform. Let's see if I have enough daylight to pull this off. Okay, I cut a bunch of these sticks. Now it's time to lash these in and make a platform. I'm out here today with my friend Alex Hatlevig, and he's about 80 yards away. He's opted to make a ground shelter in a flat area in between the boulders, which I lovingly refer to as ancient glacial excrement. The work of continuous lashing is tedious, but the result of taking your time with the lashing is a nice, sturdy, and safe bed. My cordage of choice is number 36 tarred nylon bank line. It doesn't really stretch at all, and it makes for a really tight lashing. One thing that's true about this design is it is very cordage heavy. I've already burned through all of my number 36 bank line, and I'm going into my thinner bank line now for this continuous lashing. So if you're gonna try something like this, you gotta go out with like a half pound of cordage. Slight issue with my shelter right now. I have one ridgepole right over here that is very strong. Like, it's very sturdy, not going anywhere, not really flexing very much. But this one is just a little bit thinner and it's got some give to it. I don't really like that. I don't like that give. If I'm gonna be up here, I wanna feel secure and like stable. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna cut a piece of wood that's going to go right here all the way to the ground, and that's going to just give this thing a little bit of support right in the middle where it's sagging. Here's my support. It's got a little bit of a notch in it so that that ridgepole can just sit right on it and it's not going to go anywhere. Now, I don't trust that this is not going to fall out in the middle of the night, so I'm going to lash it in place. And I'm also going to put some rocks right at the bottom to kind of hold it in place to keep it from going anywhere. Now that the platform is complete, it's time to get the ladder built. I'm thinking I'm going to build the ladder right here, in between these 2 trees. Just like 3 rungs, just enough to get me up onto the platform. And then the last step is going to be putting the rainfly on. That's going to be a little tricky, and I need to do it quickly because it looks like I'm going to have rain at about 5 o'clock tonight. Yeah, according to the radar, the rain's going to hit at 5, and then it's going to stop for a little bit and then resume at 9 p.m. and go all night long. So I have to be really prepared for cruddy weather. And as of right now, I'm still a little bit unsure how I'm going to rig this tarp. It's going to be a very creative way of rigging it, that's for sure. This is not going to be easy because it's a raised platform, but I really can't get high enough to anchor the tarp where I want it, so it's going to be a compromise of some sort. So I got the tarp up. It's a little bit interesting how I had to rig it, but I think it's going to work out really, really well. We're supposed to get quite a bit of rain, so this is going to keep it off of me. I did put toggles in the grommets of the tarp. It'll make it really easy in the morning to tear down camp because those toggles are there. I can just pull them right out. It's a little challenging getting up in the shelter and then getting the tarp back over me again and lashed down, but I think it's going to be fairly comfortable actually, and we'll see. Definitely not a practical shelter, but it is fun. All right, it's getting cooler. It's time to put on my forest jacket. I've had so many people ask me about this thing and where I could buy it and all that stuff, and I just tell them I made it. I made it from a wool blanket, and I love it. It's perfect for keeping the chill off and doing little bushcraft projects like this. It's an awesome jacket. So if you want one of these, let me know. Maybe I'll start making them. Now I just need a sleep system. I think with the Etherlight Extreme, this is going to be a fairly comfortable experience, as long as I don't fall off of this thing in the middle of the night. That is a concern. I might actually take some of my heavy rope and just make like a seat belt just to keep me in this thing, because I don't know if I roll over, I don't want to fall out of this thing. It's like a 6-foot fall, so yeah. Now I want to take a minute to thank our sponsor, Wicked Edge, and show you the WE-40 and why it is one of the best sharpeners I've ever seen. Precision knife sharpening is now not only affordable, but it's also portable. With the WE-40, I can sharpen my blades on the go because it's lightweight and the provided clamp gives me a bunch of different mounting options around camp, whether that's clamping it to a picnic table or even right onto my shelter. The WE-40 comes with everything you need to get started and a YouTube instructional playlist to get you sharpening your blades fast. Wicked Edge is known for their precision knife sharpeners, and now with the injection molded glass-filled nylon, the WE-40 is an affordable option for people who sharpen their hunting knives or their kitchen knives even just a few times a year. For a good working edge on my knives, I like to start with the 600 grit and then sharpen them with the 800 and 1000 grit stones. This gives me a working edge that is perfect for most of my outdoor tasks that I do, and if I really need a durable edge, then I use their stropping kit to achieve a strong mirror finish on my blades. This is the best design of the standard vise thus far and is easily able to clamp blades of different styles and thicknesses and can even clamp blades up to a 1/4 inch thick. If you want a sharpener that's portable, affordable, and precise, check out the WE-40 from Wicked Edge. They also gave me a discount code for you so you can get even more off of this amazing sharpener. Thank you to Wicked Edge for sponsoring this video, and now back to it. After wrapping up my tarp setup, I made my way across the boulder field to check out Alex's shelter and see if he needed any help. Give me the grand tour of your shelter.
Yeah, so, well, first off, it ended up being way bigger than I thought it was gonna be. And I was thinking about doing an A-frame thing, but I figured this kind of like right triangle would be good. But yeah, it kind of slants down that way because with the rain tonight, trying to make sure that stays off of me. But yeah, on the inside, it's extremely roomy. Like you could probably fit
Wow.
at least a couple people in here.
Oh, no joke. Yeah, no kidding.
I did add some
Dang.
extra support beams too. I was afraid there was gonna be a lot of weight, so
Yeah.
it's nice having the peace of mind with those things there.
Yeah, no kidding.
But yeah.
So, do you think we can handle about 1 inch of rain tonight?
I think so.
Yep.
I think we should be good. I don't know. It'll be on and off for a little while, you said?
Yep.
Like
Yep.
maybe in like only a couple hours,
Yeah.
but I think we'll be just fine.
Cool.
I think we're gonna survive.
Nice.
Yeah.
Nice. Yeah, so he's got some debris. He's piling up on the outside of there to keep the cold away and the drafts away. That's gonna be nice and roasty toasty in there.
This side is covered over here. The tarp doesn't even go all the way down. The tarp just covers like basically the top of it. So underneath this is nothing but sticks. So I loaded a bunch up to make sure no water is gonna get through over here.
A+. This thing is awesome. So we're really putting this whole thing to the test tonight with this rain situation. There's going to be a lot. We're going to get dumped on. So I have a concern with my shelter that I'm going to fall out of it actually in the middle of the night. So I'm like legitimately a little nervous about that. I'm going to have to make like a safety belt or something. Yeah, Alex, what's yours?
So with mine, first off, you can just see there's a little bit of like the tarp's dipping down on this side. I'm afraid water's gonna pool up. Like 1 inch of rain is quite a bit of rain. And I'm worried that water's gonna pool up and just kind of start dripping on me throughout the night, but we'll see what happens. My other main concern is that this tarp that I have here was just in my backyard covering a bunch of firewood. And I grabbed it late last night. What I didn't see was that there is a bunch of little holes all over the tarp. So that's why I double layered it to hopefully have no drips on me. But my second concern is that those little holes are gonna be having some water droplets on me.
Yep.
We'll see what happens. I think it's gonna be okay, but those are the main concerns. So it's gonna be a little bit cold tonight. So main thing I thought about right away was what R-value sleeping pad do I wanna have? So I decided on bringing this is a 4.7, I believe. It is the Big Agnes Insulated Air Core Ultra, and they actually don't make this one anymore. I bought it like right when they were gonna stop making this one, but I absolutely love it. It's great. I think, like I said, I think it has a R value of 4.7, so it'll be nice and warm. For my quilt, I have the Storm Loft 0 degree from Outdoor Vitals, and I have not tried this one, so I'm starting testing tonight. I'm very excited to use it. Like I said, it's a quilt, 0 degrees. It's super lightweight, and yeah, it'll be hopefully very comfortable. Last thing, I brought a pillow with. I'm gonna try out this one for the first time. It is the Trackology A-Luft Pro SE, right? Yeah. Never tried this one yet. It feels very squishy and comfortable, so we'll see how that goes. Yeah, Big Agnes pad, Storm Loft, and the Trackology pillow.
That Storm Loft quilt is awesome, so I don't think you're gonna have any issues whatsoever. It is fantastic.
Awesome. All right, everybody, I'm behind Gordon's camera now. So I'm here at Gordon's campsite, and with the rain coming, let's see what he thinks about his whole setup here.
If there's driving rain, if there's any sort of wind at all, that it's gonna just soak my head. And so I'm gonna have to kind of shimmy downwards to get coverage on the tarp. So that's my other concern. I might have to modify my my point up there and just make it a little lower. We'll see. But other than that, I think it'll be pretty cozy. Well, the sun is setting and we have about 20 minutes left of light. I think I'm gonna get a fire going and then cook some dinner because I'm already really hungry. This was a big calorie burn today. But I wanted to give you a little bit of a grand tour here real quick. So I've got my backpack hung up right here. This is the Granite Gear 60, and I'm just using that to get materials to and from my vehicle. I've got my rain poncho right here. This is my Red Ledge rain poncho. This is gonna be essential pretty soon here when it starts downpouring. I've got my food bag from Backcountry Exposure. This is a 4.5 liter food bag. I adore this food bag. It is perfect. If you don't have a food bag already, get this one from Devin, Backcountry Exposure. His Etsy is in the description. And I got my trusty Nalgene bottle. I've got my tool roll. This is my rope ladder to get me up in the shelter. Just 2 steps, 2 big steps. These are my pillows. I got my Outdoor Vitals pillow and I got a Flex Tail pillow. Got my headlamp ready to go for nightfall. Up in the shelter, I've got my Claymore light. That's gonna give me a nice big area light so I can film and vlog and all that stuff. This is my Outdoor Vitals Summit Down 15 sleeping bag. So that's gonna be nice and warm. I got my Sea to Summit Etherlight NXT Extreme. This thing is gonna be really toasty, as well as my wool blanket underneath, so I'm not in contact with these bars as much. So that's the grand tour. Now time to make a fire. This fire is not essential. It's just a little bit of a morale boost right before it starts to rain. And I know that as soon as it rains, this fire is gonna be gone. So this is just a temporary, quick fire. All right, I'm enjoying the fire before it rains here a little bit, making the pork chili verde from Ready Wise. I did this on the last camping trip and I just loved this meal. It is a very delicious meal. Highly suggest if you're getting backpacking meals, go for one of these. Really nice. And I mixed up some chocolate element electrolyte drink here, and this is the chocolate one is really good actually. Now it's just a little bit of a waiting game until it starts to rain. Hopefully I'm sheltered well underneath my tarp here. I shouldn't get wet, so we'll see. Looks like Alex has got a fire going over by him as well, so we are just enjoying the night here before it gets too dark and too cold and too rainy to do anything else. I think I am going to make some tea. I found a tea bag in my bag of goodies here, a Modern Earl Grey. Sounds good. It's caffeine free. Oh wait, no. It's not caffeine free. It has caffeine in it. This might keep me up tonight. But I think I'll probably be awake anyway, so we're gonna make it. Pork chili verde. Oh, it's so good. So this suspended shelter thing is pretty interesting. I found the idea for this in a Dave Canterbury book, Bushcraft like 101 or something like that. He had a picture in there of something similar to this, but it was suspended by ropes. And I was like, wow, that's complex. I'm totally gonna try that. Since there aren't any trees here with like horizontal main trunks, I couldn't do this shelter suspended by ropes. But I did kind of pivot and do this platform shelter, which I thought was pretty interesting. In this area, there's so many boulders and it's so uneven. The ground is very uneven. And there's a lake right here across from me. And well, because of the lake right across from me, the ground is very, very soggy. So it's kind of tough to find a suitable spot to make a ground shelter. Now, did I have to go 6 feet high? No, I did not have to go 6 feet high. So if you're gonna do this, don't make it so high. Make it more reasonable, something like a foot off the ground or something like that. There's no practical need to go 6.5 feet up in the air, but I thought it'd be fun. Now, it might not be so fun at 3 in the morning when I have to go to the bathroom. Yeah, I have to crawl down. With darkness in full effect, dinner consumed, and camp ready for weather, all that was left was to wait. Wait in the cold. Getting reacquainted with silence can be uncomfortable with our busy, non-stop lives. As the fire gave up the last of its heat, I decided it was time to head up into the treehouse and see if I could get comfortable enough to sleep. I made it up into the crow's nest. Not the easiest thing to do, but you know what? This is cozy up here. It's pretty cozy. Rain is starting to fall, and I'm going to see if I can at least take a nap up here. I'm not going to commit to the whole night. I'm just going to take a nap and see what we can do here. If worst comes to worst and it starts to rain and storm really, really bad, I can just bail out to the car. No big deal. All right, gonna hit the hay. We'll see you guys in the morning. And not long after, I got an alert on my phone saying we would be getting much higher winds and rainfall than expected. So we took shelter in our cars and waited out the night. With the high wind and loose, wet soil, the chance of blowdowns was high, not worth getting crushed by a tree. In the morning when I tore down camp, the area near my head was the only place that rain had gotten to, which was what I had thought earlier in the day. In the end, it was super fun to make a treehouse shelter and practice some of these bushcrafting skills. I hope you found that useful, or at least entertaining. We'll see you later.